YouTube, what's going on? This is Pat with Pat's Tech Talk. We're doing Pat's Tech Talk Volume 3. And today we started off as this was going to be a no holds barred kind of all inclusive of everything I think you need to start a solid stream. Now that includes audio devices, that includes webcams, that includes what OBS system you need to run, everything I think you need to really have a sharp and crisp and solid stream. Now, once I started it, I realized that holy crap, just the first section is going to take a giant blog article to write because I've already posted the article on patstechtalk.com. Check it out, please. So I decided to chop it up into like a series. So what that means is now there's going to be a series inside of the Pat's Tech Talk, which it goes over everything for streaming. Now, the reason I did this is because like a lot of people that come into my Twitch stream, they're asking a lot of questions. I see a lot of things in Discord I'm a part of. They all want to know, what do I need? How much money do I need to spend? Do I need to get this $200? I just got attacked by a bug. Anyways, so they're always asking, what do I need? Do I need to buy this $200 Logitech webcam or microphone or whatever? What software do I need to run? What filters do I need to run? And honestly, it's not that complicated. I've been doing this for a little over a year. And I've been through all these growing pains. I've been through equipment that aren't that great. I've been through equipment that I feel like are overpriced, and I wanted to get that out to you all. Again, simplifying things for the layman's. So without further ado, this is Pat's Tech Talk Volume 3 Audio Edition. Okay, YouTube. So again, we have the article written and it's typed out. It's more, I guess you would say, in depth than this video will be, but it has all the links to all the products that I've purchased myself. I did not put anything in that article that is not tried and true to some extent. Now, there are things in that article that I personally do not own, but I've had experience with. And there are most of the things that I've listed are literally things that I have that I'm using currently right now. I didn't go through an all-inclusive of everything you need because, again, this is going to focus on the audio. And I mean as in inputting audio. I'm not talking about the software setups yet. That's going to be kind of like a volume 2. To be continued, if you will, how you should set things up with filters and software and what you need. This is just what you need to purchase in order to get your stream going. And honestly, audio is number one. I cannot stress that enough. You can stream, all you need is a mic. It's it. That's all you need. I'm assuming you have a computer to play the game on or a PlayStation or Xbox to stream from. You need a good mic to have a good stream. There are a lot of content creators, famous content creators that have thousands and thousands of viewers and subscribers and followers that do not use webcams, that do not use fancy overlays and scene transitions and all these, overly saturated things you see. Because if you have a good voice and really good audio, people, that's all they're listening to. They're watching the gameplay. They don't care about your face half the time. They're watching the gameplay. They want to hear you talk. They like your voice. So audio to me is honestly the most important, and it's regrettably what I avoided and kind of downplayed for an entire year that I streamed. I streamed my first year with awful audio. I had bad advice from some articles I read. I Googled, what's a good microphone? And then I bought the first thing that popped up that was in my budget. That's not a good idea. What I did was, honestly, I literally Googled what I just said, and it said, hey, this is a good, cheap microphone, and it had all these big words, cardioids, and it was multi-directional and all these other things. And it said, this is good for interviews, and you can set it on a table, and it picks up your voice really well, and all those other things. And I was like, okay, that sounds great. That's perfect. Well, it wasn't. It was a Samsung Go mic, which, again, it's a great product for what it was meant for, which is interviewing people, having two people talking on both sides of the microphone. It did have a unidirectional option, but it wasn't great. It didn't have a lot of noise canceling. It picked up a lot of white noise, a lot of background noise, because, again, it's for interviewing and podcasting, which is a quiet room. It's designed with maybe noise dampeners and things. So I grabbed that, I threw it down on my streaming table, my desk, and then I started gaming. And I used that for months. And it caused me a lot of headaches, a lot of audio issues. And I don't want people to go through what I went through. So what I did was then once I realized that, hey, I need to step my game up. My buddies were telling me my audio was awful. Just even in the party chat when we were playing, Warzone or whatever, they're saying this is awful, dude. Like you sound like crap. I can literally hear 18-wheelers driving by your house and you live, 50 feet off the road. Like, what are you doing? 50 feet off the road, more than that. You get what I'm saying? So I did the old tried and true Amazon trick. I set my filters on Amazon to 4 stars and above. I typed in podcasting mic, streaming mic, and then I set it for highest or average rating first, and then set my price range. And what I always do is I look for 4 stars and above, and I look for at least 5 to 10,000 comments. This is Amazon. This is the world's largest reseller. They're gonna have a lot of comments if it's a good product. If it has 600, these companies overseas, they will flood those comments with fake reviews to get their rating up, and then they'll sell you a crap product. So always look for one that has a lot of comments. Like this microphone I'm using right now is over 20,000 comments. So I said, ooh, that sounds like a good deal. It was in my price range. I'd never heard of Fifine before, but again, it fit my price range. It had great reviews. It had reviews from all over the spectrum, and it came with a boom arm that I needed, a scissor arm, whatever you want to call it. It came with pop filters, 2 different pop filters. It came with a shock mount, so if you hit your table or move your boom arm, it's not getting crazy with it, and moving that microphone in place and making weird noises. The clamp on it had good reviews. They said it was a small clamp, but it was very effective. I've had it on this flimsy desk. I just slapped my table and my whole desk moved. You saw the camera move. It's a flimsy, literally almost like a card table I'm using for part of my desk. It's been on this thing for the whole time, and I've never had it come off or come loose ever. It's a USB plug-in, so it has a USB cord attached to it, so it plugs right into your PC. You don't have to have one of your speaker jacks taken up by your microphone input, or which I know your computer has one, but sometimes you have more than one microphone. You might plug in your headset into that with the splitters, all that stuff. It came with this boom arm isn't a Fifine boom arm, but it came with the adapter for it, so it screws right in. It's perfect. It can go any angle. It's very good. Like I have it here and it hasn't moved. I can move it here, and I guarantee that thing will not move from there the whole time. It doesn't get loose. It doesn't move around. It's awesome. And it was a package deal for roughly $60 on Amazon. The whole thing, kit and caboodle, cradle to grave. Once they shipped to me was roughly $60. I don't know what the exact price is. Again, all the links for all these products will be in my description. Forewarning, I am an Amazon affiliate, so anything you click on, I do get a little tiny piece of the pie, but it's nothing. I just did it, so might as well try to make a couple cents off of whatever. But just full disclosure, I got this way before that. All these products I bought way before that. I haven't bought anything since I've been an affiliate, so don't think I'm trying to nurse you to it. But this thing's awesome. And you don't even have to get the $60-something package. You can get just this microphone that comes with I think, don't hold me to that, I think it comes with the pop filter and the tripod stand. I know it comes with a tripod stand. So if you want to say, look, $60, it's just out of my budget, you can get the microphone for like $30, half price. Microphone's all you need. Granted, if you want crisp audio, and once you start getting to the filters and the software and getting that thing really dialed in with your bass and your treble and your gates and your compressors, and it's a freaking nightmare. I'm not gonna lie to you. But once you start getting into that, you're going to want a boom arm because you can get it nice and close to your face. You can adjust it as you move around. Say I'm gaming on this monitor, I can move the mic over. I can adjust it towards my face. I don't have to lean into it. And it's just easier. It's just a lot less hassle. But again, it's kind of a want and not a need. But to me, it's kind of a need. But again, if you're trying to save a couple bucks, that's where you can kind of trim some of the fat on your budget. The stand itself, you just set it near you. You adjust the microphone so it's pointing towards you because this is a unidirectional. So whatever way that it's facing, it has a volume knob on it. So that's the front. That's kind of like your little sign that's the front. and you point that towards you, and then you can dial in your settings to pick up your voice. Granted, the further away it is, the more you risk picking up other audio, but this is a fantastic microphone for $30. Like, what? You get these companies, and I'm not trying to throw shade. I mean, they have fantastic high-end studio quality microphones, but this thing was, if you take away the boom arm, this is a $30 microphone that I'm using right now, and I sound pretty darn good. And I'm awful at dialing in audio settings. I'm terrible at it. Look at me. Terrible. I went a whole entire year with sound like I was in a hallway, and you could hear my neighbor farting in their living room. It was awful. My dog walking around everywhere. I mean, it was terrible. I would scream into the microphone because I'm kind of a rager. You know, I kind of get a little animated. And my friends would be like, dude, you busted my eardrum. Sorry, my microphone sucks. This thing's $30. It was cheaper than the one I bought before it. That's literally in a closet somewhere. I don't even know where's that. This is a great mic. There's other options out there. Blue, which is a very tried and true company, they have a very similar price range microphone that has very similar reviews. It's called the Blue Snowball. It looks like a snowball. You know, Blue has that Sherpa, Yeti, snowball type things. Again, you want another type of microphone. Maybe you don't trust Fifine because, you know, you've not really heard the name. Once I did a little research, they're actually a very respectable company. But Blue is one that's a little more known. A lot of big name streamers use their Yeti microphones because they don't like the boom arms. They just sit them on the table and they're very effective. Price was very comparable. It's a couple dollars more. So instead of, you know, the $29, $30 for the Fifine, it was like $35. It was nothing. And then the boom arm and attachments was actually a little cheaper on the Blue. So once you bought the whole package, they actually equaled out. So I have not had one, but from what I read, they are very similar. So I feel confident with the Amazon review kind of technique I use, plus the reviews and the research I did, that microphone is another one that would be very comparable. Of course, there's others. I would avoid the ones that don't have, you can go to Amazon right now and type in mic, you know, streamer mic, podcast mic, and it's going to give you a ton of extremely cheap options that, again, have a couple thousand reviews, a couple hundred reviews, and they all seem like too good to be true. You know, $15, $20. Personally, I would be wary because they don't have a company name on there for a reason. All right, they've only got 600 reviews for a reason, even though they're half the price of everything else. That's already a good deal. I would just be wary. This is tried and true. You can do your own research for these Fifine mics. There's YouTube videos out there. A lot of people are really impressed with them, me included. So I can't stress enough that this is a very good mic. Again, audio is very important. It's also a pain in the butt. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to plug this thing in and you're going to be like, man, that audio sounds good on your recordings through your OBS or whatever. Then you're going to play your stream back. You're like, man, it's like I'm in a hallway. Or it was audio ducking me and they couldn't hear half what I was saying, or I was too loud, or I could, you know, you gotta utilize software and filters. You just have to. It's a part of the game. Everybody's voice is different. Everybody's decibel level is different. Everybody's bass and treble and tone and everything is different. So you got to do it. Now, you can plug this thing in. You're going to sound pretty good. You want to sound great. We'll get into that on another video. After the whatever mic you pick. Now, I personally recommend the Fifine or the Blue Snowball. But, again, links are in the description. Whatever you get, just make sure you take my advice and use software and audio. Now, if you can't afford that, $30. You're going to have problems streaming, first place, because you can make it with spending $30 to $50 on each item and be okay. I did it. Besides my PC itself, everything I've gotten was basically under $50. I'm too frugal. If you can't afford that and you've got to trim the fat somewhere, you can use your headset. People are going to be screaming watching this video right now. You can. You can use your webcam mic if you want to. You use enough filters, you can probably make it work. It's just not going to be the best. It's not going to sound the greatest. It's just not. You can't cut corners everywhere. Now, some mics, I mean, I think Nick Merckx, he uses, for a lot of his audio, he uses his headset mic. I don't know what headset he uses. Probably a very high dollar one. But if you've already got a headset that's a nice high dollar headset and it's got a really good mic and you've recorded and you've streamed on it and you sound really good, you can do that. I'm not saying you can't. Plus, it follows you around everywhere. It's a good option. Most of the time, it's not, though. I don't recommend it, but again, this is a cheap starter pack. If you're just trying it out, if you're trying out streaming, you wanted to give it a few weeks, see how it is, see if you can get a little traction, you can use just your headset. I did it. And it sounded like crap, but again, I stuck with streaming. Don't know why. And I mean, it worked out, but you can trim the fat there if you want. The just review. Personally, yeah, I don't recommend it, but you got to get one with a good mic. Now, if you get one with a really good mic that has noise canceling and ducking and noise gates and all this other stuff, by the time you pay for that, it's going to be probably in the $100 range. You could have just got this microphone with the boom arm, with all the nice fancy settings, and had a little money left over to get like a lot cheaper headset that has really good sound quality, but doesn't have a good mic. And then you have all of it together instead of all in one. That's, you're getting some good stuff, but you're getting some bad stuff, personally. Now, what does that mean? Now you get into the headsets. Again, we're talking about audio. We talked about the microphone. Now you need a headset. You're gaming. You can't have the volume blasting through speakers because what is it going to do? It's going to interfere with your microphone. You got to have something that separates the two. First and foremost, before I show you any type of headset, before I show you anything, hearing is look at me. Hearing is extremely important. I was in the military for 6 years. I have slight tinnitus because me not thinking, this isn't that loud. I go to the gun range all the time. This isn't that loud. I'd be near an aircraft. This isn't that loud. It affects you over time. You get that random ringing in your ear and it doesn't go away. That's tinnitus. That's because you've damaged something in your hearing, in your canals. I don't know the technical terms. Take care of your ears. Don't blast audio into your ears, especially if you're wearing a headset, because it's got nowhere else to go. Got to go somewhere. You're going to mess your hearing up, and it doesn't come back. Hearing is one of those things. Once it's gone, it is gone. It's like messing up your back. You mess it up once, you're going to be feeling it for the rest of your life. Tinnitus is no joke. It can affect your mental health. Like, it is no joke. Laying in bed trying to go to sleep at night and your ears are ringing and you can't go to sleep for hours and hours and hours, and it is driving you nuts, or you're waking up to it. It can affect you in more than just, I got some ringing in my ears. I can't hear what'd you say? It's awful. Just take care of yourself. Having said that, turn the volume down. You don't need it that loud. It's okay. So I'm going to, again, these are items that I've used or researched very well. I'm just going to show you two that I've used because there's a ton of headsets out there. Gaming is as high as it's ever been. Good luck researching. These are the ones that I've tried. I tend to go more towards comfort because I have a giant head. Don't know if you noticed. It's humongous. I almost wear a size 8 in my head, like circumference. So headsets don't fit my head very well, and they always hurt the crown of my head because they're stretched to their max. I have to max out every set of headphones I get, and I just hope that they cover my ears completely and they don't kill me. I've had cheap $20, Chinese knockoffs that looked really cool and sounded really cool and had all the flashy stuff on them for, $15-20. But then they get loosened over time. They don't have that connection. Then what happens? The audio starts bleeding out, and then it gets into your microphone. It starts. People can hear the washback, the echo. Again, I suggest going with a name brand that's, again, tried and true. Turtle Beach, Astro, these types of things. These companies that have produced a good product for decades. Everybody's trying to flood the market because gaming is as popular as it's ever been. So everybody's trying to cash in, trying to make a buck. You don't want to get the Wish.com ones. You don't want to get the AliExpress ones. You want to get something that's a little bit better. So what I do? Went to Amazon. I hit 4 stars and above, and I look for high ratings. And what did I get? I got these. Boop. Turtle Beach Recon 200s. Sound quality in these is awesome. The padding for the ears is awesome. The microphone, extremely good. Like, better than that other one I was using. I could have used this for streaming and been okay. It has a variable mic interface. I think is what it's called. Let me find the specific word for you. Variable mic monitoring. It's an amplifier on your headset. If you ever use a Peltor system or something, what it does is it takes your voice through the mic and it puts it back in your ear. So what happens when you're gaming and you've got these things muffled over your ear? You sound very nasally and you're in a hallway, right? But what that tends to do is it muffles your voice and you tend to start talking louder. My son does it all the time. He's in there playing Fortnite with these cheap headphones I got him, and he's screaming into his microphone because he's not used to not hearing his own voice. So human nature is telling him, talk louder, talk louder, talk louder. You can't hear yourself. Awful. Cheap headphones are the worst. They don't have it, so you start talking louder. You start screaming. You start talking louder and louder and louder. And then what does that do? Makes your stream look like crap, sound like crap, makes you look like an amateur. These have these variable mic monitoring, so you can turn a dial on the left side and you can turn up how much you're hearing your voice to the point where you can literally hear like a roach walking away. Like, not that I have roaches. You can hear like my dog panting in like 2 rooms over in my own ear because it's so loud. You can adjust it. And it's awesome. Like, my son or somebody will come in here and they're like, Daddy, I need to go to the bathroom. With a cheap headset, I would be like, I don't hear nothing. You come knocking on my shoulder and I'll scare the crap out of me. These put that voice back in your ear. Again, that is like, it's huge. It makes you talk like you normally talk. It's nice. Got the flip up microphones. If you flip it up all the way, it mutes your mic, which does mute the amplifier as well. It's corded, which is good. So there's no lag, there's no interference or anything. You can plug it in your audio. It's corded, but you still have to charge them. I hated that about these. Can't lie to you. Hated it. I'm a forgetful person. I'd be halfway through a Battle Royale sweat fest, freaking got 2 teams on me. I'm screaming, hollering on, and all of a sudden, I got no audio. Like, I'm trying to plug them in because you can play with them while they're plugged in, but I didn't like how you had to charge them. Like, I bought them to be corded, so I didn't have to charge them. But I guess because of the amplifier it has on it, it needs the extra boost of juice. It's not getting enough from the aux cord. I get it, but I wish I'd have known that before I bought them. That's why I'm letting you know. And also, again, for the big kids out there, look at these things. They're maxed out. They can't go any further down, right? They fit my head with them maxed down. But that is right there, right on the crown. Look how thin this pad is. It is nothing. And there is a piece of plastic that runs right down the center that covers the cord that goes from one side to the other. It digs into the crown of my head. Digs into it. Now, if you got a head, normal size head, hey, boom, awesome. You don't mind charging headphones? Awesome set of headphones. I'm telling you, these things are like literally high-end studio quality, I feel like. I couldn't do it. I played with these for months. I played with these for a very long time. And to this day, they dig into my head after, 30 minutes, an hour, and I'm gaming for hours. It drives me nuts. So what did I do? Got me another set of headphones. Boom. Now, this goes against a lot of what I just told you. Roccat is a well-known company. They're not well-known in the audio industry. These headphones have not been out that long. So they did not have a very high comment. Even the reviews, they were above 4 stars, but they weren't like, 4.5, pushing 5. They were more on the low end of 4. I ain't gonna lie to you. I bought these for comfort. This band right here is money. You don't even feel it. It's so nice. I got these, and the first day they were a little snug because they were brand new out the box. The next day they fit like a glove, and this is just as, it's perfect. I love them. High end, nice, comfortable ones that have this. That from like a very nice, Turtle Beach, again, Astro type companies, Skull Candy, whatever you want to call it. They're a little higher. They're a little pricey. I don't know what this thing is, but it's expensive. So I saw these and they were on sale. I got these headphones for in the $30-something range. Okay. I can deal with not perfect audio if I get comfort. Because if I got great, oh, I can hear their footsteps from a mile away, but I'm screaming in my head because it's so uncomfortable, it doesn't matter. I take comfort over precision. That's me. That's me personally. So if you are the opposite, get those Turtle Beaches or a variant. If you want comfort, I'm telling you, these are awesome. Again, links in the description. You're going to see that they only had like 600, 700 reviews, I think, when I looked last. And again, it was just a little over 4 stars. Some of the reviewers are saying that the quality wasn't that great. This does have the mic monitoring, the variable mic monitoring, whatever you want to call it, the amplifier. It's not as good as the Turtle Beaches. You still sound a little bit muffled when you're talking. You put the mic close to your mouth, it sounds pretty good. Again, me personally, I'm sacrificing a little bit because of comfort, because I'm telling you, my head was killing me. I mean, I'd have to constantly shift it around. So I'd have my headphones sitting at a weird angle because it was hurting so bad. These are kind of the best of both worlds. If you don't mind the muffled noise and the sound or whatever, hey, look. Boop. Get that thing out of your face. You already got a microphone in your face. You don't need another one. Me personally, I like to have the because I get real nasally if I can't hear my voice. So I do have this plugged in. And I kind of keep it close to the mic, and it works. I don't feel like I talk nasally when I wear them. Now, is it perfectly crystal clear? Because no, you can't control the how much you're getting out of it, like on the Turtle Beaches. But honestly, the ear pads are super comfortable. I've worn these things I wore them like 8 hours earlier, and nothing. Didn't even think about it. It's kind of a problem because you try to stand up and you forget you have headphones on your head. Again, I love those things. I've only had them for a few weeks, but links in the description for each of those as well. Amazon's going to be I'm all about supporting small business and supporting box stores, but if you're trying to stream and you're kind of in a rush and you live an hour away from a Best Buy like I do, or a Target or wherever, Amazon. It's just easier. Now, those are things you need. Granted, you don't need the headphone mic if you got this mic or vice versa, but you need both of those in some form or fashion. Do your own research, pick whatever one you want, but I'm just telling you what I've tried and what I know works for a very reasonable price, and I'm all about price per performance. Again, I am a cheapskate and I'm very frugal. So, trust me. Use my link. Okay, so talked about the Turtle Beaches again. Oh, another thing about the Turtle Beaches, they have a PlayStation toggle switch and an Xbox toggle switch. So if you flip it to those, it kind of adjusts the audio to what they know those systems produce, which is nice. If you're on PC, you just flip it to Xbox or PS4 or whatever and just leave it there, because whatever adjustments you make, is you're going to go on your PC settings and you're going to change all this stuff through software and all this other stuff. Just leave it on that. Don't try to flip them back and forth, because you're not going to get the same settings back into your ears. But again, I mean, these Turtle Beaches, like, man, I wish they just had a more comfortable headset. Maybe the more expensive ones do. I don't know. But the 200 Recons were, when I purchased them, and this was like a year ago, it was like $60-ish. So the other ones are half the price, way more comfortable for only a slight downtick in the audio quality. Yeah. Okay, so next on the list. Now, we talked about the boom arm and the filters and the shock mount and everything kind of being like a want/need. You don't need it, but it's a really convenient, nice to have, and you're gonna need it if you progress in streaming. The same can be said about this, and y'all are probably gonna laugh at me, but an aux cord extension, or an aux extension cord. How many times I've slung my head back in rage, or lean back to talk to Chad, or to stand up to walk away or whatever, and them tiny little baby cords they give you on these headphones just rips my ears off, because the headphones is still attached to the computer and it just yanks it. And it scares the crap out of me. It's not good for the cord. It's not good for the headset, because it might loosen something and then they just come crashing to the ground. It's not good for anybody. What did I do? I got a 6-foot aux extension cord, AUX extension cord. Again, link in the description, but it was like $7. That's a Wendy's number 6 Not even a large. I mean, like, well, I said that backwards. It would be more impressive if it was a large. It's cheap. I'm telling you, it's going to be something that you are so glad you have. The only thing about it is because it's 6 foot. That's pretty long. It can get wrapped up in your like your chair wheels. Just full discretion. So maybe get a shorter one if they have them. But the 6 foot one for me, because it's kind of, if you need to move your setup, if you need to move your PC away or whatever, you have that availability, and then just wrap up the excess and tie it off. Then you're good. I never did that because I'm lazy, so it just floats around, and sometimes it gets caught in my desktop, my desk chair. Who cares? It's a cord. It'll be all right. The one I linked again was $7-ish bucks. You can get threaded ones that are super durable, all this other stuff. But I'm telling you again, it's a want, but it's super convenient, and it's $7. Now, this is one of the last things on the list. We're running pretty late, so I'm going to try to wrap this up. This is the cheap audio. Like, hey, let's do the cheap option. I don't have one because I'm cheap. But you've got your wants, you've got your needs, you've got your wants, and you've got your desires. So if you got a Ford Focus, that's your need. You got to have somewhere to drive. But you want a nice brand new truck. Your desire is that Lambo. All right? That Ferrari, that Le Tigre. Okay? Again, if you're watching this, you probably aren't paying attention to me, but a Go XLR. You're talking the creme de la creme. All right? Everything you need, push of a button, twist of a dial. You don't have to worry about all these weird softwares that might not work with your setup, and then you got to run this while you're running that, and then it slows your computer down, or you buy these third-party audio interfaces, audio mixers that, you don't even know who made them or what name brand they are. There are some reputable, I didn't mean to wink there, that was kind of weird, audio interfaces on Amazon that claim to do the same thing as a Go XLR. I can't in good conscience post those on here because I've had zero experience with them. Everybody I know that streams, good friends of mine, big name streamers, they all use the Go XLR. They don't use anything else. Whatever. I don't know why. It's just the way to go. They're very expensive. You're talking upwards of $500 for a mixer. But again, you're paying for the ease that you're getting out of it. Think about, you own a lawnmower. You can cut your grass, but it's just so much easier to pay a dude to cut it for you, and to weed eat, and to trim the hedges, and to do all this stuff, and to take care of your grass. You ain't got to do nothing. All you do is just point. Yeah, cut that. That's a Go XLR. You can do anything on it. It's amazing. But again, you're talking about the price of some PCs you're getting for just an audio mixer. There is software out there that does the same thing. I think there's actually Go XLR software you run on your computer. It's probably not going to be as accurate. It's not going to be as make those minute changes at the tip of your fingertip, that contextual feel. But it's all there. And again, there are audio interfaces from very reputable audio companies for half the price of this, but you're still talking about $200 something for some of these. Again, this is a desire. If you're going to spend this much, go big, go home. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about $50. We're talking about $500. So the Go XLR, there is a Go XLR Mini, which is about half the price of the Go XLR. Still very expensive. It doesn't have, nearly as many options, but it does provide that convenience. It does have options on it. You can just check those out. And again, those, we posted links in the description. If you're buying that and you're watching me, I don't know how you ended up on my channel, but kudos to you. Send me a couple hundo. That's a joke. Don't do that if you want to. All right, so the only thing you need to know about this though is Go XLR takes I'm not 100% on this, but I think it only takes the optical plug-in, the XLR plug-in device. I'm sure you can connect a USB to it. If it's $500, you're better. But just in case, just research a little bit. If you are going to purchase it, make sure that you either have an adapter or it has the plug-in for that device. The Mini, I'm assuming, is the same. Again, assuming, never good. We don't research much here. Okay, so audio is important. You need a really good microphone. And I don't mean really good as expensive. You need one that you can afford that does what you need it to do at an acceptable range. Headphones exactly the same. Price per performance, comfort, because you're going to be wearing them on top of your head. You have no meat up here besides skull and skin. Unless you're a little heftier, then you might have a little bit extra. Just trust me on this. I wear headphones all day, every single day. Comfort is important. And then you have your audio mixers if you choose to go that way. I just use filters on my OBS. I use a couple of third-party softwares that I run through my OBS. That way you can adjust your pitch and your treble and your bass and all these other things. They work extremely well for me. It takes a lot longer to kind of get it that way. You got to do a lot more research. It's a lot easier to touch that Go XLR a few times and you're good to go. But I'm also saving $500. So that's my opinion. Now, those are the things you physically need, want, desire, whatever. A few things that I want to add in here as a final suggestion is a couple of tips that I've learned about audio. One, it sucks. It's a nightmare. I streamed earlier and I couldn't get my audio to come through my headphones. Why? OBS decided that my default audio device was my monitor for some reason. And it would not let me, for what I could do, would not let me change it. They just, whatever. You're going to run into these problems. I built a PC so I could have a 2-PC setup, a streaming PC and a gaming PC. The audio issues, trying to get those two to link up and not have a lag or a millisecond response a little bit off, so my audio was a little bit off from my mouth, and then I had Discord on one and then game audio on the other, and I was trying to share microphones. It was a nightmare. Every time my drivers updated, my microphone wouldn't work on this or it wouldn't work on that. It was a nightmare. So I literally took a PC out instead of having to deal with these nightmare audio issues almost every single day. It was a constant nightmare. Audio is going to kick your butt. The other stuff is fine, mostly. Audio is going to kick your butt. It sucks. So these are just a few things that I recommend. One, Google it. YouTube it. Seriously, like type in whatever mic you buy. Add OBS to the end of it, settings, and there will be a YouTube video 99% of the time. Somebody's going to make a YouTube video on it or an article, and they're going to tell you almost exactly where to start, all your settings, all your filters you need, what softwares you need, and then they say, okay, well, if your voice is a little lower, adjust it here. If your voice is a little higher, adjust it here. If your voice sounds like it's in a hallway, adjust it here. If you're just cutting out too much, adjust it here. They walk you through it. It's awesome. I mean, everything's at the touch of our fingertips. You should never have that excuse or that reason. Also, avoid batteries, charging, and Bluetooth. Batteries, again, it's going to die on you in the most inopportune times. It always happens. Same with charging. My Turtle Beach headphones used to die on me because I'd forget to charge them. So then I got into the muscle memory of charging them every single night. Sometimes it wouldn't charge, whatever. And then it would just go dead. Then I'd have to have it plugged in while I'm playing or use like my son's old crappy ones. And it was just inconvenient. Same with Bluetooth. Bluetooth, worst of both worlds. You got to charge them and there's input lag. It's not noticeable until it is noticeable. And then you got connection issues. And the worst thing you want to do is to be trying to play a game, interact with your, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube chat while trying to troubleshoot a Bluetooth device while having audio issues. It's just something that's not needed, all because it's a little more convenient than I have a cord hanging from your ear. Like, I'm good on that. That's just my opinion. Avoid them. Last, there's probably other things that I didn't cover. Again, I'm running really long. I wanted this to be a 20-minute video. We're at 40 minutes. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I still got to piece this thing together. Yeah. Have a second device that you run just for a little bit. If your internet's not the best and you can't really handle a lot of devices at once, I understand, but use your cell phone, use a tablet, use a laptop, use something that you can run your stream from a viewer's perspective, not from an OBS where you're seeing instant, replay. There's going to be a slight input delay when you're streaming live, even if you have no input delay on. There's going to be a little bit, and every time that stream lags or buffers, it's going to make it longer and longer for the person viewing it. Pull it up, unmute it for a second, and listen to yourself. I do it all the time with my stream. I'll tell my chat, hey guys, let me hear myself for a second. I give them a little heads up. I listen to myself. I make sure that it sounds good coming out from the other end through all the encoding and the uploads and download speeds and everything. So pull yourself up. That way you can see yourself visually, making sure everything looks crisp, making sure your colors are good, your resolution looks good, your audio sounds good, everything is kind of kosher. It takes a couple seconds, observe. We used to call it a SEALs check in the military. It's stop, look, listen, and smell. Yeah, I don't know. Stop what you're doing. Kind of take in your environment. You're looking, you're listening. You don't have to smell. And then you just mute it. And then also, you just kind of leave. I always leave mine up. I leave it up, and every once in a while I'll look back, kind of see what me 5 seconds ago was doing, how I looked, or whatever. And maybe if something happened on stream or something happened through OBS and I didn't catch it, I'll look over there. There's that slight input delay, then you might catch it. Oh, that's what happened. Or, oh, that's who followed, or, oh, that's what happened in game and I wasn't looking, or something like that. It's just it's a nice to have. You don't have to do it, but it's a nice to do. You don't even have to do it every day. Just do it once every couple of days, especially if you just had an audio issue and you think you have it ironed out. It's a good thing to pull it up, reference it, make sure you fixed it correctly. It might be looking good on your OBS and in your headset, but then you pull it up on Twitch and you got no audio or you got no visuals whatsoever. Another thing is OBS is infamous, Streamlabs, OBS, whatever, for saying you're live, and you pull up your Twitch and you're not live. Then you got to clear your cache and do all these other things, make sure everything's good to go. And I've done it a few times. I've been live for like an hour and I've not been live on Twitch, or I've been live for an hour and been muted the entire time. Just been talking my head off because nobody was in my chat and I was just talking, or had no game audio. That happened to me all the time. It happened to me last week. I was like, hey man, talking to me. Oh, you have no game audio, by the way. Like, looked, and there it was muted, or actually my device was defaulted again and it wasn't picking up the right one. It's just once or twice every week, pull it up, unmute it, good to go. All right. That's it. Hey, I rambled for a very long time tonight. I do apologize. This was a longer article, and again, I wanted to make this one whole video about the entire streaming process. I'm very glad I didn't do that because we just went over audio. We still got to do cameras and overlays and Streamlabs, OBS, and filters, and all, but we got through it. I appreciate everybody stopping by. I love you all. I hope you take my advice and you utilize it. Again, all the links for everything I mentioned, you can get it on Amazon. It's probably the cheapest option. Shipping will be free if you have Prime. Most times shipping's free anyway, even if you don't have Prime. Utilize my links. I do get a small piece. Maybe. If somebody does it, cool, awesome. If not, I don't care. Again, I hope you take my advice. If you like my videos, share, like, subscribe, follow, whatever. Gunslinger09 is my Twitch channel, my TikTok, my Twitter, and then Patch Tech Talks, my YouTube, and my website. Check out the blog. It goes into this stuff a little bit more in detail, and it has the pictures for the links and everything. Y'all have a good night.